This is Hanegraaff, president of the Christian Research Institute and host of the Bible Answer Man broadcast, with another Hank Unplugged short. This Sunday, I worshiped in Southeast Asia. After a drive of almost 3 hours, maybe a little longer, we came to a remote village, and as we pulled up to that village, there were lines and lines of people numbering not just in the hundreds, but actually maybe 1,000 or more people. And what was particularly moving about these people is not only their acts of kindness towards us, their excitement to see these visitors from the United States, but to recognize that these are first generation Christians. So think about this. We're getting out of the car and we're having leis put around our neck. We're walking through streams of people who are throwing flowers at our feet. It is as though you're in the book of Acts, quite literally in the book of Acts. First generation people on fire for their faith. And then you go into their church building, such as it is, where all these people are packed in, seat to seat, shoulder to shoulder. They're just sitting on the floor. And they're there for, maybe it was a little more than 3 hours, sitting, not bored, not uninterested, but completely engaged as they absorbed the liturgy, as they prayed the Lord's Prayer, as they recited the creeds, as they worshiped God, as their senses were engaged through incense and through light, through candles. It was a glorious experience to see their faces and to recognize that what happened in the first century can happen in the 21st century. These churches, they're called Believers Eastern Church, at least the churches that I have visited. They number in the thousands, people numbering in the millions. Well, as first generation Christians, what do they need? They and their bishops and their priests or pastors, they need training. They need to be equipped because they need to grow properly in the faith. They've come to Christ, but now they need to become reproducing disciple makers themselves. It's extraordinary when you are in a first generation context in a rural part of Southeast Asia, maybe I should say a rural part of the global South, where the Spirit of God is moving mightily. When you're there, you intuitively recognize that God's work is spreading and it needs to be fortified. It needs to be not just enlarged in terms of masses of people, but depth of the faith. And that is precisely what is happening. And I have to say that I am just deeply grateful to be able to play a small part in the equipping process through the ministry of the Christian Research Institute. It is an extraordinary privilege. It is humbling. It is amazing. You read about people who are demon-possessed in the book of Acts, where you can see it, because where the gospel and light moves in, the dark forces which are just as real as the very flesh upon our bones, even though they're spiritual forces, they're nonetheless real. They do not take the intrusion of light into their darkness well, and do all they can to disrupt. But you see that the power of God is far greater than the power of darkness. So once again, I am so grateful that through our Going Global initiative, our ministry is having an impact for time and for eternity. And I am so grateful for the vision of my dear friend, Metropolitan Yohan, who has worked tirelessly and selflessly to be used of God as a catalytic force for the spread of the gospel in a way that I can certainly, from my heart, say is unprecedented. So to be able to team up with men of God like that is extraordinary. In my next short, in fact, as soon as I click off, I think I'm going to do it, I want to talk about one of the orders that has been created. It's called Sisters of Compassion. So long for now.